Hello everyone, it's me Pavlo, and today we'll talk about 7 Hz Sonus. Pretty affordable model. If I remember right, price is $60. I will add links to the shop in the description. And it's a hybrid model with single dynamic driver and one single balanced armature. And if you take a look at this blow-up diagram, what surprised me a little bit is that based on the diagram, armature driver located not in the spout. But actually, is it true or not, we'll see, because the internal part is transparent, so we'll have a closer look and we'll find out. And taking into account that it's 7 Hz, I expect quite good tuning and the usual good price to quality ratio. So let's proceed to the review. So let's unbox these earphones. Package is nice with good polygraphy, traditional combination of matte and gloss textures, interesting blow-up diagram, and even specs printed: 30 ohms of impedance and 109 decibels of sensitivity, low total harmonic distortion, basically almost perfect combination of parameters. For these earphones, they won't be super sensitive and at the same time they won't be hard to drive. Really interesting orange box with nice texture, and inside we getting some cover with really promising messages. Next, leather case, and inside we getting one bag with different tips and another bag with spare filters for these earphones, and also earpieces themselves. So, and also here you can see that there are different color options. Basically pretty nice leather pouch, simple but works really well for everyday storage of your IEMs. Really convenient to put them inside, to get them out, and so on. So here they are. Really good combination of thick metal faceplate with this wave. Looks unusual and interesting. You know, this classical combination of semi-transparent inner part of shell and metal faceplate we see everywhere, but some companies really did put a lot of effort in creation of interesting design. So here used 2-pin connectors, really tightly fitting ones. Let me try to disconnect it. Yep, I succeeded. So we can take a look closer. Here is dynamic driver, vent hole for it. It's located on the inner part of the shell. Interesting design. You can see driver is pretty big, and here is probably balanced armature driver, and it's located in a really interesting way. So it's not in the spout, which is pretty good in my opinion, but it's not far from the spout, so it plays in the spout area, and that definitely says that they spend a lot of time experimenting and trying to find some unusual design. So here it is, looks good, built nicely. Fit is comfortable, of course. You know, my ears are totally used to this shape. Probably all seasoned audiophiles will already have this shape of the ear, but in general they are not big, so fit should be comfortable for a lot of people. And spout made of plastic, and you can see really unusual grill. It's unlikely it does something sonically, but it looks really stylish. And it has average length, so sound isolation is also on the average level, but it's enough for daily commute when you are not in super noisy environment. Cable is 2-pin connector, classical one. There is ear hooked formed and nice parallel cables. So maybe not everyone will like it, but in my opinion it looks good. It's not prone to twisting, so good ideas. Let's unwind this cable. So they made it a bit complicated, but not too much. Actually, Velcro stripe is additional bonus accessory. Now here is really unusual but cool looking splitter with chin slider, and you see that 4 wires goes in parallel. Where did I see it already in the past? They go total in parallel. Actually, cable is pretty soft and flexible in one dimension. Microphonic effect is low, and here is jack, also pretty unusual and looking stylish. You can see how cables united, connected, and actually you can even see the soldering inside of the connector. Really great idea. I really like 7 Hz approach to the design. They took basic components we've seen many times before, but they managed really to build something new and unusual with all of that. And of course, about the sound, I gave them about 48 hours of burn-in and there were no changes in sound. Not like I believe that there will be noticeable changes, but for every review I think I should try and inform you about my findings. And when it comes to the signature, actually I've expected something unusual from 7 Hz, and looking at this design that I highlighted before, like proved that it's worth expecting. And yes, they crafted maybe not unique tuning, but definitely not that usual hybrid V-shaped or U-shaped signature. It's more close to that type of tuning that I like, you know, when earphones are technical with good resolution and stage, but at the same time not monitoring, keeping balance between delivering you details and overall sounding musical, and actually they fitting nicely here. Of course, for this price, it's always worth saying. So, bass go deep, really good depth, maybe not maximum, but pretty close. There is accent on the deeper layers of bass, but at the same time they're not dominating. It's not that type of bass where that deeper layers of bass are present, but disregarding their presence in record. No, this earphones much more closer to natural sounding. When a track has something deep, it will be delivered, but also accent is not big. That's definitely not a bass head model, and probably even it's not a model for those who like a noticeable amount of boosted bass, especially on the mid frequencies. Low frequencies here are a bit accented, but it's like, you know, natural accent to compensate our hearing unevenness. So it's not bass dominating model. It has like good amount of bass, perfect for the acoustic instruments, for something timbre rich with surprisingly good amount of small nuances and details. Not of course 100% of details, but still pretty realistic with good amount of overtones, with good balance between impact and weight. Electronic music is also pretty pleasant with these earphones, at least for me, but it's still a matter of what you prefer in terms of quantity of low frequencies. If you like more bass, more than natural is monitoring, more than natural, it's closer to what I am trying to express, so it can be not a model for you. But for me it's great because I have more like live tracks, tracks with real instruments, not something sampled or synthesized. But still I enjoy pretty much basic tracks too. And let's go for the example. It's Alexis call, and we got fun, like typical audiophile track with a lot of details with a lot of nuances, and of course pretty rich and saturated bass, like really palpable and pleasant, and these earphones definitely gives that feeling to the whole track. And thanks to the technical representation of mids and treble, other parts of this track also sound on a really good level. So transition from bass to mids is almost perfect. Bass is not poisoning lower mids, even on bass heavy tracks, still control is really good. And also I must admit that 7Hz managed to stitch drivers really well, and there is no like noticeable place, audible place when dynamic driver and hybrid overlaps. Usually it gives you some bit of distortion, and you can clearly hear when like dynamic driver stopped and where goes armature with the more lightweight and more focused on the micro contrast sound. No, not in this case. They definitely managed to get the balance. They stated that they use a custom balanced armature, and if it's true, they selected something really good, because they almost match technicality of dynamic driver and balanced armature, and that gives you a great level of coherence. Mid frequencies are detailed, but at the same time not thin, not over focused on the micro contrast. You're getting good amount of details, instruments, really good balance of weight, nice dynamics when it's necessary to give you emotions. But at the same time, they are really dependent on the source and on the material. When everything is good in this track, you'll get all the nuances, you'll get lifelike performance. But when audio engineers failed, it can sound like dull and unengaging. But with good tracks, of course, you'll get everything that you'll need. And on top of that, you're getting nice, spacious imaginary stage with good separation. And actually it's relatively rare case when depth is slightly better than width, because they doing nice layer separation, moving vocal a bit forward, and that sounds pretty organic and engaging. So example for the mid frequencies, it's Transatlantic, Evermore, like one of my most favorite super groups. Great example of progressive metal, really progressive, with nice melodic tunes, but at the same time changes in tempo, rhythm, key, and everything. So super professional musicians just enjoying playing complex things so much that it doesn't sound overcomplicated. And that's a great option for these earphones. Of course, to fully enjoy this track, you'll need something much more expensive, but for $60, you know, I'm oversatisfied with what these earphones deliver, because it's always a matter of expectation, and for their price, you know, I've got zero questions for them. And for this price, it's just a matter of what tuning you prefer. If you like natural, it will be great choice. And the treble, actually another good point for this model, because treble here makes them a bit standing apart, because treble quality here is a bit better than average for this segment. It's not like superb treble, but still you'll get good extension. And surprisingly, for just a single balanced armature, you'll get a good balance between attacks and decays, and it doesn't sound like super airy and thin like typical balanced armature. You'll get better weight for the treble, and because of proper attacks and decays, and it gives you more rich and more saturated overtones. Layering is like super basic or almost absent, but it's typical for the budget segment. There is almost no exceptions. But overtone saturation is really superb, and it gives you good, almost great sense of realism for timbre-rich instruments. And because of that, I've selected one of my most favorite albums ever. It's Camel, The Snow Goose, and it's re-recorded version they released not so long ago, but actually not so long ago, it's like 5, 7, up to 10 years. For me, it's not so long ago. So it's not the original released long back in time. And for me, Camel stands a bit apart from vast majority of progressive and art rock groups. I enjoy them most of all, probably, with few exceptions. And subjectively, I enjoy them more than like more famous representatives like Yes or Genesis. For me, Camel is more like live, more enjoyable, more musical, not trying to invent something super unusual, but just delivering great things. And Snow Goose is absolute perfection. For me, it doesn't fit genres. It's just a great music, and it's fully instrumental album, but at the same time there is an interesting, unusual story behind this album, and the book that album is based on. And I selected Flight of the Snow Goose, but actually all other tracks are also enjoyable. They use a lot of different instruments and synthesizers and orchestral parts, guitar parts. Everything blends together in the really enjoyable music. Everything is recorded pretty nicely, going to the treble area, and these earphones deliver it on a good level. Not great, but really, really good. In terms of pairing, they are not super critical, but of course beta source will be better for them. So if you consider buying them, I think you need to save like extra $40-50 for some good digital tonal converter to use with them. And actually, as a bonus, you're getting this cable, which is really good in terms of materials, quality, and other things. And what else I can say? Speaking about the comparisons, just two models. SimGot EA500 that I reviewed not so long ago. They are more sharp, more focused on the treble area, more energetic, so if you like treble you can enjoy them more, but this one is more balanced without adding additional energy to the treble area. And my favorite, my hidden gem, it's Fio Jade Audio JD7 single dynamic driver, and they are more fun, more accented bass, more forward treble, so that's another type of tuning. So actually, to summarize, I expected good sound from these earphones, but in reality they a bit exceeded my expectations. So if you like uncolored but not monitoring sound, it can be a great option for you, and they are really enjoyable. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.